welcome to Train the Trainer, Learn to Lead PD. We're so excited that you are here. This session is designed for our Seesaw trainers that are leading professional development. Welcome, welcome. As you are
Welcome, everyone.
As you're entering, just a few housekeeping items. We will be using the chat to put any comments, reactions, ideas. So there is a little chat icon on the right. Just tap on that to open it up and use the chat to introduce yourselves. If you have any formal questions, you'll notice that there is a Q&A tab. We will put all formal questions that we have in the Q&A. This just helps us ensure that we don't miss any questions. They're formatted, they're in an order, which is why we ask that you put them in the Q&A. Welcome, welcome. Let's see who we have with us. Good morning, Stacy. Carrie from Indiana.
Hasn't call out. Welcome, Jessica from Colorado Springs. I'm in Denver.
Yeah. Hi, Holly.
Welcome.
Chicago. I saw somebody from Chicago. That's where I'm from. You went by really, really quickly, though.
I know, I'm scanning here. Oh, Texas. I'm from Texas. Welcome, Texas friends.
All right. So this session is being recorded. So you will receive a link to the recording in about 24 to 48 hours after this session via email. Along with the recording, you'll also receive all the resources that we are providing today and a certificate of completion. So we're going to go ahead and introduce ourselves. My name is Mia. Hello, everybody. I am the Training and Professional Development Specialist here at Seesaw. I am based in Chicago. Yep, I saw Chicago people. Joliet in the chat. All right outside. I have been with Seesaw since October of 2020. Prior to joining the Seesaw team, I taught kindergarten for 10 years in the Chicago public school system, where I use Seesaw daily with my little ones. I also trained teachers on how to use Seesaw in their classroom. So I was a technology coach in my district. And I keynoted and contracted and spoke about the implementation of the importance of implementing technology in the early childhood classroom. Oh, thank you, Megan. You got my book. Awesome. All right. I'm going to turn it over to Yvonne, my amazing colleague, to introduce herself.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Yvonne Post. I am also a training and professional development specialist here at Seesaw. I've been with Seesaw since last May. So prior to coming to Seesaw, I was a kindergarten, first and second grade teacher. Then I became an academic technology coach, serving PK through fifth grade teachers and students and administrators. And helping support innovate technology in their classrooms. So I'm so excited to be here with you all and helping you get started for the school year. I will hand it over to Allie.
Thanks, Yvonne. Good morning, everyone. My name is Allie. I'm also a training and professional development specialist here at Seesaw. And I've been with Seesaw for almost a year, since last August. And prior to being at Seesaw, I taught both fourth and fifth grade. I was a reading interventionist for that third through fifth grade band, and also was an instructional coach where I really helped teachers, just like probably what a lot of you do, teach them how to use technology in their classroom, those best practices. And like I said, I am located in Denver, Colorado. Hand it back to you, Mia.
All right. Thanks, team. All right. So now that we know that you guys know who we are, if you have not done so already, make sure you introduce yourselves in the chat. Tell me where you're from, what district you work with, what your role is, and let's have a little bit of fun. Include one emoji that describes something about yourself. So let's see. Hi, Joanna. Welcome. Hi, Suzanne from New Jersey. Hi, Ruth. Welcome, welcome. Hello. Hiram from Mexico. Hello, welcome. Hi, Haley. Good to see you again. All right, we have some singers. All right, people on vacation, have those sunglasses on, enjoying the weather. Some musicians. Oh, someone that loves French fries. Hi, Kristen. A chef. Awesome. So much fun. All right. So we are going to go ahead and start with a little discussion in the chat. I would love for you to share your thoughts. What makes training engaging? What makes training engaging? So think about when you're in a session, hands-on exploration, one that is relevant. Yes, hands-on learning, one that you don't just sit and get. Interactive, enthusiasm from the presenter. Energy, yes. So all of these things are things that makes training engaging. And in addition, trainings really need to be easy to follow, which means that they're connected to a clear objective and they're organized. I saw somebody in the chat say purposeful. Yes. Teachers, we know you have accumulated a wealth of life experience and knowledge, and all of that needs to be brought into the training. I saw a lot of interactives, fun. Everyone learns better when they're doing and not just sitting and getting. In order to really create behavioral change, teachers need to leave feeling inspired and equipped with the skills that they need to really implement the ideas that they take from the training. Again, a learn by doing experience, not just sitting and getting, but one that is rooted in research and teacher expertise, really increases the quantity and quality of usage because teachers leave really feeling inspired and with actionable ideas. So here are our objectives. Here's our objective for the session today. So all of you trainers will learn how to access all of our PD Kit resources in order to train and support your staff on using Seesaw to really create those meaningful learning experiences that make thinking and learning visible. And here is how we are going to get there. So we are going to begin by exploring all of our kit materials, our professional development kit materials and resources, and we're going to talk about best practices to support you in delivering Seesaw PD effectively. Next, we are going to learn about our new Seesaw Learning Hub. Very excited. That actually launched just a couple days ago. And then we're going to share all of the new and exciting Seesaw features and updates that have recently come out and will be rolling out in the next few days. Okay, so we are going to begin by learning how to deliver Seesaw PD. Oh, I saw somebody in the chat, snacks too. Yes, that is awesome. All right, so first up, we're going to talk about how to access our PD Kit materials. Our PD Kits promote exploration and reflection and application as well. The skills that are taught in our sessions build on one another. The learning is scaffolded, allowing Seesaw implementation to happen in an incremental and strategic way. So let's talk about where you find these kits. So you can head to our Seesaw for Schools professional development site, web.seesaw.me /Seesaw for Schools PD, and we will include that link in the chat for you. But this is where you will find all of our Getting Started PD kits. So you might notice that we now just offer our Get Started session PD kits. That's because we believe that best practice for those going deeper sessions, which are more in depth, they're research-based topics, is to really have a Seesaw training specialist lead those sessions. So when you click on one of the Getting Started cards on that site, you will be taken to a new page with all of the materials that you will need for the session. So here you see that the learning objectives are included, the learning outcomes, the specific audience that session is targeted towards, and all of the materials needed to facilitate that session. The facilitator's guide, the presentation deck, the participant handout, and an FAQ doc. I saw a question in the chat about the recording. Yes, Chris, you will be receiving a recording of today's presentation in about 24 to 48 hours after the session. So you may be prompted to make a copy of the deck prior to presenting your session so that you're able to add any pertinent info and personalize the deck for your specific school or district. Next, we have our facilitators guide. It provides the trainer with step-by-step instructions and slide-by-slide speaker notes to really help you successfully deliver PD to your staff, whether you're delivering that a session virtually or in person. These notes are really meant as a guide to ensure that all of the points, the key points and topics are covered. You as the facilitator, you know your school, you know your district, you have the option to copy and edit that guide and really to include any specific language that addresses the specific needs of your school or your district. We have also created presentation decks, and each presentation deck follows a similar layout. So we start by activating that background knowledge with a hook of some sort, and then we provide research to support the learning outcomes. Each presentation is actually broken down into sections, and each section teaches about a specific skill or concept, and then allows for a live demonstration followed by an exploration task by the participant. We've also created participant handouts for every session. These handouts highlight any key learnings from the sessions and includes an exit tickets that you can leave participants with that includes those actionable next steps. So they're left with one handy dandy paper with all those key and actionable next steps. If you are providing that to your staff or your teachers digitally, you could just prompt them to make a copy of that and they can actually type right within that document to take any notes that they would need to take. And finally, our FAQs. So we know that some questions may arise during trainings. During exploration time, the facilitators, when you're in person, you circulate, which we know is an instructional strategy where we walk around, we kind of check in with people, check for understanding. When questions do arise, we do have this FAQ sheet for you that you can access to answer any questions and troubleshoot any issues. So in this document, we have prioritized those FAQs that represent the most common questions that may arise first. If you are delivering these sessions virtually, a lot of the questions may be coming in through the chat. So make sure that you're monitoring and really using that exploration time to address those questions, which is embedded in our presentations, those natural stopping points. Another tip that I have for you that I do is sometimes I go to help.seesaw.me if I don't know an answer to a question, and I'll just type in really quickly a keyword or search for the question. And a lot of times that's those answers to those questions will pop up there because that site is monitored by Seesaw experts, certified educators, and ambassadors. So if your school or district is interested in purchasing a Going Deeper session, PD session that's led by a Seesaw expert, we have a PD catalog that outlines all of our PD offerings. So in this catalog, you'll find the audience and learning outcomes for each session, along with the length and the format for each session as well. All of our Getting Started PD kits are also linked in this catalog. It's multi-page, so make sure you just take a look at that and spend some time exploring. So just a little bit more about the two different pathways that we offer. Our Getting Started sessions are designed to get your teachers up and going with Seesaw. They cover the basics like posting to the journal, creating activities, assigning activities, getting students and families started. The Going Deeper sessions are designed for staff who've already mastered those basics and they really want to deepen their learning with Seesaw. So these sessions include topics like accessibility, family engagement, voice, assessment, and how the brain learns best. And now we offer different lessons PD sessions to support our districts that have purchased Seesaw Lessons. And these sessions range from introduction to lessons to sessions that are more specifically focused around content areas like computer science with Seesaw Lessons, ELA with Seesaw Lessons. So you'll notice those offerings are included in the PD catalog as well. All right, so now I'm going to jump in and I'm going to show you how to access. So follow along with me. All right, let me go ahead and start sharing my screen here. Bear with me as I go ahead and I start to present. All right. Everybody can see my screen right now. Okay, so here I am on our Seesaw for Schools professional development page. So you'll notice that when you scroll down on this page, you'll notice that it outlines all of the different types of sessions that we offer. So you notice that we have those live in-person sessions, the virtual sessions, and the virtual the workshops. Here is also where you can download that PD catalog, but we'll also be sharing that with you in the follow-up email. So no worries about downloading that now. But if you scroll down a little bit further, then this is where you can access all of those getting started sessions here. So you can see all of those kits are included. And if you just scroll over, you can access all of those. I'm just going to go ahead and click on that Get Teachers Started kit right here. So you can see here is the landing page for Get Teachers Started, which includes those learning objectives, the audience, all of the materials. And then there is a tab at the bottom for you to click on to view all PD kits. Uh-oh, it takes me back. Sorry. Here we go. Let me go back. Wrong kit there. Let's go back to that Get Teachers Started. There we go. So you can go back to the main page. You just click on View All Kits. But to get to the specific resources that are included, you'll see that they're listed under materials. So if I tap on Facilitators Guides there, this will take me to that facilitators guide. You'll notice that you have all of that information at the top. As I mentioned before, that audience, the time frame that it'll typically take you. This is a 90-minute session. So make sure you're reviewing the time frames because some of the sessions are different. This Get Started session is really meant to get everyone up and going in one session. And I'm just going to scroll through that facilitators guide so you can see the slides. The screenshots of the slides are here along with the notes there. You'll notice that the notes are broken out. So basically, however you deliver this session, whether it's virtually or a workshop means in person, it just has different instructions for how to deliver each section of the presentation. As I mentioned before, it's broken down into parts. Each part is timed for approximately how long that each section will take. And then there's always kind of a get ready to explore after each section, which is a great stopping point to ask questions as well. So that is our facilitators guide. Here is the deck. I'm just going to click on that. And all of the other materials are included as well, that participant handout and that FAQ sheet. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen now, and we're going to go back over. There we go. All right, so I would love to get your ideas in the chat. How do our PD kits support facilitators to train their schools? Go ahead and drop your responses to that in the chat. How do PD kits support facilitators to train their schools? So saves, I see some responses coming in. Saves you prep time. Yes, that was one major goal of ours. Yep, consistency and formatting. Yes. Saves a ton of time. We know that you are busy. You have a lot of responsibilities supporting your staff. Many of you are teachers as well. So definitely meant to save you time. Provides all the materials in one place. Consistency, yes, in training and presenting. They inspire creativity. Great. So next, we're going to discuss some best practices for professional development, whether you are delivering your training in person or virtually. So we want to just encourage you to take the time to plan and really prepare for your session to ensure that it is successful. So our first tip is to take the time to live demo in an actual Seesaw classroom. So after you do go through the presentation slides and you walk teachers through step by step that have been covered in the slides, you can actually experience the tools in action by jumping into a live Seesaw class. This is really particularly important for those getting started sessions where the participants are newer and they need kind of multiple touch points with the platform. So they need to see it multiple times. And jumping in would really be a great support for those participants. After a live demo, make sure you give participants time to practice the skill or the skills in each section. So slow down and allow time for that exploration. If you are in person, walk around, give that additional support as needed. If you're virtual, set a timer during that exploration time and encourage participants to log into Seesaw to practice the skills that are being taught. So as I mentioned before, our PD sessions are broken down into parts. So this really allows for those natural stopping points for questions and to engage in discussions. When you are delivering virtually, sometimes it can be challenging to present and manage the chat and all the questions that are coming in. So you can use these stopping points to allow you specific times throughout the session to address questions. And if there are questions that you're unable to answer, you can always provide participants with the Seesaw support request form, and they can submit their questions to support for an answer. And we will drop the link to that form in the chat for you. See, it has already been done on it. All right. So the goal of all of this, is really to set our facilitators, our trainers, and our participants up for success by designing an interactive training and equipping all facilitators to support everyone, no matter their experience with Seesaw. So now I am going to turn it over to Allie, and she is going to talk about the new Learning Hub.
Thanks so much, Mia. Yes, I am so excited to introduce you all, if you have not heard, about our Seesaw Learning Hub. So we now have an entire site of different pathways and courses for both teachers and administrators. And so the Seesaw Learning Hub, it's an online portal where teachers and administrators can invest in their professional growth to elevate learning in the classroom and explore the best ways to use Seesaw with their learning communities. And I just wanted to say there was a question in the Q&A about, if my administrator only gives me a certain amount of time for a training, how do I cover all of this? Well, the Learning Hub is a really great solution because it is self-paced, so you can send your teachers and your staff off to learn about anything you haven't been able to cover in those live trainings. So definitely make sure to check this out. So the Learning Hub is separate from the Seesaw app. This is important to know. Teachers and administrators, just go to learn.seesaw.me. We'll make sure to drop that in the chat as well. Thanks so much, Yvonne. And then click that sign in button, and you either will sign in or create an account to start learning, like I said, at your own pace. You can also pause and return to the courses at any time to continue where you left off. Now, the Learning Hub is broken down into different pathways of short courses to help teachers and administrators either get started or go deeper with their Seesaw learning. So this is an example of a pathway. This is our Getting Started pathway. And you can see that there's 5 different courses within this pathway. So we also have a Deepening Learning pathway, a pathway for specialist teachers. So if you have music, art, language, whatever it might be at your school gym, we have a pathway for them. We have a Seesaw Lessons pathway as well. So if your district or school has purchased Seesaw Lessons, there's a pathway for you. A pathway for our Seesaw community members. I'm assuming and hoping many of you are, pioneers, ambassadors, certified educators. So there's also a Seesaw community member pathway. And then, like I mentioned, we do have administrator pathways. So a technical administrator pathway and then a non-technical administrator pathway. And like I said, just important to remember, the pathways and the courses that can be began whenever it works for you. Pause it, the different courses to complete at your own pace. So as I mentioned, be sure to share this with your staff. Okay, now, other than the Learning Hub, as Mia mentioned at the beginning, there are some amazing new changes with Seesaw the past really couple of months. So these changes are a result of teacher, administrator, family, and student feedback that we continually collect. So first off, thank you so much to all of you for providing this feedback. This is how we make Seesaw an even better platform for all of you. So let's dive in and see what's new. Okay, if you haven't heard, Seesaw is now just one app. So teachers, students, and families can now all download and use the exact same Seesaw app. You no longer have to make sure families are downloading that family app, helping with that confusion. So all of our amazing features that have always been accessible on the web, like progress or in the lessons library, messages, and more, are also going to be accessible on the app. So no more just being able to do certain things on the, your desktop and not being able to do it on the app. It's all in one and accessible. So as I mentioned, all new users should download the new Seesaw app, which you see on the right. So on the left, we have the old class app, the family app. From now on, any new user, when they go to the App Store, is just going to download that Seesaw app. But don't worry, if families are currently using the family app, they can continue to do so. You'll just want to instruct any new families to download just the Seesaw app. And if you're like, wait, I have the class app on my phone, but it hasn't disappeared, that's because our product team has just converted your old class app to the new Seesaw app. So it's there for you already. So it's one app for all, a single app for teachers, students, and families to really make those learning experiences and communication as simple as possible. And so just when you get to the screen, of course, simply sign in or instruct your families to sign in based on their role. Now, something else that's really exciting that comes with one app is student groups, which is such a highly requested feature. I think it was our top requested feature, actually. So as a teacher, you can now create student groups within your classes to make differentiation even easier. So when you go to assign, like you see on this screen, rather than clicking those 3 children that are students that are in your reading group, you just click once because you've already put them into their correct group. So you'll just head to the wrench to set up and manage your student groups. Okay, let's take a look at this quick video that highlights the app and all of the amazing updates.
Working together to support learning just got easier. With the single Seesaw app for teachers, students, and families. Easily switch between accounts on one device and access favorite features on mobile, like progress, messages, lessons, and more. A single app for all users makes learning and communication simple. Search Seesaw in the App Store.
I love it. I see all the excitement in the chat about student groups. I'm so glad you are excited. So are we. Okay, next, in case you have not noticed this, the inbox is gone and Seesaw Messages is here. So Messages enables ongoing flexible communication that builds a positive environment to support student learning, designed, of course, with student safety and privacy first. Now within Messages, there are 2 different messages types. There's an announcement as well as a conversation. So an announcement is a one-way message. Think of it as like a BCC email. So when you send an announcement, the member names are hidden and members cannot reply in that conversation thread. If they do reply, it just goes to the sender themselves as a private conversation. Now, a conversation is either a one-on-one message or a group message that will show member names, and it allows all members to reply in that thread. So it's that ongoing conversation thread. Now with Messages, there are school administrator settings. And so make sure you let your school administrator know, or perhaps you are the Seesaw administrator at your school, to set up these settings in order to personalize the messaging experience for your learning community. So everything you see in that I'm about to say is depending on administrator settings. Okay, so I'm going to say that again. Depending on administrator settings, Teachers can create conversations with administrators, other teachers, students, and family members that are connected to this school, as well as entire classes and grade levels. So if you are a specialist teacher or you teach multiple grade levels or you have multiple Seesaw classes, you can now send a message to that entire class at once or the family members in that class with a click of a button. Now, again, depending on administrator settings, students can also create conversations with teachers and administrators in their school or classes. And again, depending on administrator settings, family members can create conversations with teachers and administrators in the school or connected to their child's class. And so I'm just going to say it for about the 6th time because it's important to know that yes, Messages is new. It's exciting. Just remember to make sure your administrator checks out those Messages settings in order to personalize this experience for your school. And don't worry, you don't need to write this all down. We have a lot of resources for you. So these are in the handout section. So next to your chat and your Q&A, there's a handout section. We have the Messages for teachers and Messages for families quick start guides. We also have our Messages landing page, which is web.seesaw.me/messages, where you will also find resources for administrators in order to help you get up and going. There's also videos. We have a training video for administrators, teachers, students, and some on-demand webinars. So check this all out. You can also head to our training page to find some of these trainings. We want to help all of you and your learning communities be ready to use Seesaw Messages as you're getting ready for back to school. Okay, now we're going to take a look at the latest updates to the Seesaw Lessons library. So lessons are a school or district subscription, but I am very excited to announce that starting July 25th, which is this coming Monday, so in a couple days, every single teacher will have access to a sampling of free lessons from all of our 19 amazing lesson collections. So there are now 2 ways to access the lessons library. We have our green add button. Tap that green add button, tap assign activity, and you'll get to go to, my library, community library, and your lessons library. Or we now have this amazing handy dandy little library button. If you haven't seen it, just tap that once and you're automatically taken to your activity libraries, and more specifically, in this case, the lessons library. Now, this is what the new lessons library is going to look like beginning July 25th. So if you hop into your Seesaw right now, you're probably thinking, wait a second, mine does not look like this. Don't worry, our amazing team is working very hard to get this launched. And starting on July 25th, your library will look similar to this. So at the top of the new lessons library, you're going to be able to see featured collections. So whether it's getting started with Seesaw or the first 30 days of school, we'll have those featured collections there. And then underneath, you're going to find subject collections. And so you see now our lessons are going to be grouped by subject: early literacy, math, ELA. And if you scroll down, you're going to find the most popular lessons for your grade level. Your lessons library is actually now going to be set to the grade level that your Seesaw class is. So you're going to see this example. It's set to 1st grade. I can easily toggle and switch those grade levels if I'm looking for a lesson to help challenge a student, or a lesson that, to help support a student who's not learning at grade level quite yet. So in this 1st grade class, when I tap on the ELA card that's right here, I'm going to be taken to all of the 1st grade ELA lesson collections. And so all I have to do is just tap on a collection, or I can use the filters to view lessons that are included in that collection. And so we're going to start with what we see here, which is phenomenal phonics. And we're going to tap on that little blue button that says view all lessons, and it's below phenomenal phonics. And when I do that, I'm going to be able to view all the lessons within this collection. So a few things to notice. As I mentioned, a small sampling of lessons are going to be labeled as free. So there will be a sampling of free lessons from every single one of our collections available to teachers this year. So whether you're a PK teacher or 5th grade teacher, there are going to be some free lessons available to you and your students if your school or district hasn't purchased lessons. And if a district or a school subscribes to lessons, of course, then the teachers are going to have access to every single lesson in every collection. You just simply scroll through that collection to view all of the lessons that are within the collection. And when you tap on one of the lessons, you're going to be taken to that lessons page where you're going to find all components of the lesson. Now, you're going to notice that these lessons are broken down into modules that teachers can assign separately. So there's that first introduction, present to class, such a handy button. You no longer have to assign it to a student. You just present it to your class and then show students how to complete that lesson. There is also a link to jump to the lesson plan. So when I tap on that link that's highlighted in orange, I'm going to be taken to the lesson plan for this lesson. Each of our lessons includes a printable lesson plan for teachers. You can tap on that hyperlinked lesson plan at the top or scroll down past all the lessons to view or print the lesson plan. And there's a lot in these lesson plans, making sure you all are ready to use our lesson. So we include the objective for the lesson, which details what students will know and be able to do upon completion of the lesson. We include that I will statement written in student-friendly language, as well as national standards that are addressed in the lesson. We do include any materials or handouts that you might need. We keep these very limited and simple so that there's not much that needs to be prepped beforehand. There's also the suggested instructional format. You're going to notice that a lot of our lessons can be, used whole group, independent practice, centers or stations, as well as with partners. There's some teacher tips for you to be the most successful with teaching these lessons or using these lessons, and then step-by-step instructions that go through every single page of the lesson and what we suggest you do as far as teaching. So definitely take time to explore the lessons. Like I said, starting July 25th on Monday, when you jump in, you'll be able to access that sampling of free lessons from all of our collections. So just a few days. Okay, and last, Canvas and Seesaw. Now, if you are sitting here like, what is Canvas? Please don't worry. This integration is only important for districts who are currently using Canvas. So if your district is not or school is not using Canvas, just ignore the next two slides. It is important, though, for everyone to hear that nothing is changing with Seesaw. Everything is the same with Seesaw. Canvas and Seesaw just now work together as a centralized learning platform. It's one place to go for all learning, again, if your school or district already uses Canvas. Interactive and multimodal learning is now embedded within Canvas. So you're able to access those Seesaw activities from inside Canvas. I'm going to say it one more time, though. Nothing is changing with Seesaw itself. And this is really only if your school or district is already currently using Canvas, might you be interested in this. So teachers are going to be able to add Seesaw activities to any Canvas assignments. And then students are going to be able to respond to the Seesaw activity in Canvas. So if your district or school already uses Canvas, you can have your administrator reach out to their Seesaw contact to learn more and get this turned on. But again, just one more time, only really if your district or school is already using Canvas. And please don't worry, nothing's changing to Seesaw. It's all staying the same. Okay, that was a lot of new and exciting things. I hope you learned some new stuff and maybe were reminded. I'm now going to hand it over to Yvonne to share some resources with y'all.
All right. So we are going to look at the external resources that we have for you to share with your staff during any professional developments, as well as resources for you as in-house trainers. So here we have listed some resources that you can use and share with all of your participants. So the very first one, I know we have already talked about it, is our new Learning Hub. You definitely want to check this out yourself. We really, really do encourage you to go ahead and do this. On our resources teacher page, you will find a link to our free training site. And on our Get Starting guides and planning guides, these will help you with your staff implementation of Seesaw for your district or your school site. And next up is our Mia Minute featuring our fabulous Mia. And these Mia Minute videos are short little training videos with snippets of information about how to use Seesaw in the classroom. And these can be used to support your staff before, during, or after delivering PD. And you'll be able to find all of these videos on our YouTube page. And so right now, let's go ahead and take a look at this one. This is called Creating an Activity.
Did you know that you can create structured learning experiences right in Seesaw?
With Seesaw activities, you can include text and audio directions, engaging multimedia examples, and interactive templates that students can respond on. Let's learn how to create activities to transform learning. New activities are created in your My Library. To create a new activity, tap the green Add button, tap Assign Activity, and tap Create New Activity. This will open up a blank activity template for you to complete. Name your activity by including a descriptive title. Type in step-by-step directions. Notice you can add emojis or seesaw icon shortcuts. Those are the words you see in the colons. When you type these shortcuts into your instructions, they transform into icons when you tap Save. You can also include audio directions, which are great for supporting younger learners and language learners. Attach a multimedia example like an exemplar, instructional video, or picture that helps students complete or get excited about the activity. You can use any of the multimodal tools to add your examples. When you attach an example, you see a preview. Note that students can only view the example. They won't be able to respond on it. If you want to include a template for student responses, tap Add Template. You can use any Seesaw tool to create your template. Most teachers start with the drawing tool because it is a blank canvas with so many possibilities. On the Seesaw Canvas, create guided and interactive templates with text, shapes, photos, videos, and more. You can even tap Add Page to create multi-page templates that support scaffolded, multi-step learning experiences. You can include up to 20 pages in one Seesaw activity to support even more dynamic learning. You see a preview of your template when your template is attached. Tap Assign, select the class or classes you want to assign the activity to. You can assign the activity to the entire class or a select group of students. To assign to specific students, tap Edit Students Folders and Skills in the Students tab. Tap the box next to the students you want to assign this activity to. Then tap Assign. You did it. You created and assigned your first activity. Seesaw activities make learning accessible and engaging and support all students in creating and exploring and sharing with multimodal tools. Your challenge is to create one Seesaw activity to assign to your students. Share your creativity on Twitter using the hashtag SeesawMeAMinute.
Awesome. And again, those videos, you'll be able to find those video resources on our YouTube page. All right, so resources for you now for resources for you as an in-house trainer. So you can access this one pager with all of the resources that you need to be successful leading Seesaw PD, and we'll drop that link in the chat for you. You can also access these in the handout section. So if you just where you're typing in the chat or the Q&A, there's a handout section there. You can also find that link there. And so this is a really great one-pager for you. And we just wanted to remind you about our ambassador course. You have until the end of July, so July 31st, to complete your course. And now questions. I know we have been feverishly typing answers to your questions, and we hope that you feel ready to use these free PD kits to support your Seesaw professional development at your school and or district. And so now we have some time to go ahead and answer questions that were asked. So Erin, go ahead and take it away. All right, so we're all going to come back together and let's.
I can take this.
So
okay.
This question. So for Seesaw Lessons, as of July 25th, teachers will have a sampling of a select amount of free lessons within each collection. So a few lessons from each collections will be available for free.
Great question. I'll tackle this one. Is there a way to take off the reply to an announcement? Since I send out announcements to the whole school, you don't want to get all of those replies. Right now, no, as I mentioned, there are those settings. So you can, as an administrator, make sure that students or families cannot begin messages with you. However, this is great feedback, and we will definitely pass it along to our messages product team, as they are already working to enhance messages and, update it based on teacher and administrator feedback. So we'll definitely pass this along. Is there a scope? Go ahead.
Is there a scope and sequence for each grade level subject? So we do have many alignments that we have developed based on various curriculums that you use for Seesaw, that basically kind of outlines a scope and sequence based on your curriculum that you use. So we've developed many. And if you are a district that uses lessons, that is definitely something that our curriculum partners can work with you to develop, if there's not one already.
Can an individual purchase lessons, or does it have to be purchased by a school or district? If you're a Seesaw for Schools district or school, you can purchase lessons separately. That is a separate purchase. And your Seesaw for School administrator would just need to contact your CSM for more information on that.
So I'll jump in for this one. Lessons were shared. It's not happening anymore. As mentioned, there are going to continually be free lessons. I think perhaps you're referring to our webinars during the school year that we do with our experts, Learn with the Experts. So don't worry, we are going to have Learn with the Expert coming back very soon. And during those, yes, we do share out free lessons. So for lessons that you're looking for now, I would just say on July 25th, so on Monday, head to the Lessons Library and you're going to see a sampling of those free lessons from every single one of our collections. So you'll receive more than the 3 that we normally provide with our Learn with the Experts. I can hop in here. Messaging. Are parents able to message other students in class, and are students able to message each other? Quick answer, no and no. So are parents able to message students in class? Absolutely not. Family members can only begin messages with teachers or administrators, with no other family members and no other students. And then students cannot begin their own messages. So they're only able, begin messages with other students. Students are only able to begin messages with their teacher or administrator, again, depending on those settings. As a teacher, you are able to set up a conversation with 2 students, or maybe like a book club, a group of students that you want to help facilitate that discussion. But for that student safety reason, of course, a teacher must always be in that conversation with students in messages. So nope, they cannot message each other. Can I archive messages or conversations from last school year? I'm still seeing them at this time. So right now they are still going to be in messages. So I would suggest just don't scroll all the way down to the bottom of that messages on the left. This is something that has been a request from other teachers and administrators. So our product team is aware of this request, but I'll make sure to pass it along one more time so they hear the request. Okay. So I was actually just answering this question in the Q&A, but I think in the chat instead, I will put, the question is, if our district wants to turn off all messaging features for all schools, what's the easiest way to do this? So if you head to and I'm going to quickly get it in the chat, our administrator quick start guide, you are able to see how administrators would go about changing the settings so that conversations cannot be created basically by anyone at your school. So let me make sure my typing. It's seesaw.pub/messages for administrators. There we go. So head to the chat, find that administrator guide. These controls can only be accessed and turned on or off by the school at Seesaw administrator. So if you are a coach at your school, please make sure to pass this along to your principal or administrator so that they can set those controls how they would like for the school. And yes, the safety features are put in place because it is so important for student safety and privacy. Absolutely, we agree with you.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm. So that feature, the flipping between the roles, the toggling, will launch next month in August 22. There's not a set date on that yet. Let me go in and find the Help Center article regarding the toggling between accounts like teacher, student, or family to give you some more information. But right now that feature has not been turned on, just for your information.
But we know it's an exciting one, so keep your eyes out.
It was asked. It has been asked frequently. Okay, this question was coming up a lot. Do you have to make a new account for the Learning Hub, or is it the same login? So your Seesaw app, how you log in as a teacher, that's your school credentials, like your Clever SSO, your ClassLink, your Google SSO, or just your basic email. And the Learning Hub is separate. So you will sign in. When you open it, learn.seesaw.me, you'll click in the upper right-hand corner where it says sign in, and you'll create an account. So they are separate credentials.
Yes, the Ambassador course. So the Ambassador course is a yearly refresh course that we typically put out for Seesaw ambassadors or certified educator every year. That course is just a refresh to keep you updated on all of the new features, the latest and greatest, so that you as an ambassador or certified educator have all the knowledge and information to support your staff. So you should have received an email from our community team about the Ambassador refresh course already because it is live, and I am not sure of the exact how long you have to take it. But if you haven't received that and you are a Seesaw certified ambassador, just let us know and we will direct you to the community team to support you on that.
Mia, they have till July 31st to take
Thank you.
that refresh.
All right. Let's see what other questions we have.
So this question, this is in regards to the share activity. When email to teachers is selected, is there any way that we can have ourselves added in that list, or some way of knowing that it has been shared? I believe it's just the teacher in that Seesaw school is the one, of course, that would be aware of that. I don't believe right now that there is a way for you to add yourself, but we can definitely, again, pass this along to our product team to let them know that this is a request. Oh, Patricia, I love this question. Do you have Spanish lessons? We do have some. So our summer learning collections, which are PK to 5, are in English and Spanish. And then our building to kindergarten lesson collection is also in Spanish. I will say that this is a very highly requested thing for our lessons team. They are aware and they are working on figuring out how to get more of our lessons convert into Spanish and make sure, the fidelity of the lesson stays. So keep your eye out, as I know this is a top priority for them.
I'm new in my coaching role this year. Where would I begin to start my Seesaw learning? Suggest the first step. I would highly recommend, as a new coach, we've all been coaches, Mia, Allie, and myself, take the Pioneer course to get yourself acclimated with all things Seesaw, and then definitely jump into our Seesaw Learning Hub and start the learning pathways there. And that way you can get yourself familiarized with all things new and great about Seesaw, how to deepen your learning with Seesaw, how to boost engagement with your Seesaw learning community at your school site or your district, and then how to engage with your administrators as well. We've got great non-technical administrator courses built in there as well. So definitely start with the Pioneer course, and then I'd jump straight into our brand new Learning Hub and get started there. Plus, we have great PDs coming up on our training site. So don't forget to pop in there and see what we've got going on.
And I will also suggest you to head to our Seesaw YouTube page as well and check out those Seesaw Mia Minutes, because they're really short, less than 5-minute videos on just quick and easy ways to implement Seesaw. So you can learn a lot, and also they would be a great resource for the teachers that you support as well.
Oh, yes, we totally forgot to answer this. So yes, does the messaging have a translate option? Absolutely. I believe Messages translates into 100 different languages. So if you send a message as a teacher or administrator in one language and the recipient's device is set to a different language, just like it was for Inbox, there's going to be that little button that says translate, and they'll be able to translate into their language, respond to you. And if they respond in a language other than what your device is set, you will also be able to translate. So yes, absolutely, Messages has the translate option.
We use Parent Squared to communicate. Does Seesaw integrate with that communication system? Not that I am aware of at this time, but we can definitely pass this along to our product and engineering team to let them know of this great feature. Thanks for sharing.
Yes, and before we pop another question up, I just wanted to acknowledge our many questions. A lot of you must already be exploring our Learning Hub, which is so exciting. And you've noticed that our Deepen Learning pathway says it's coming soon. Don't worry, by Monday, it should all be up and running with all of those courses finalized. There also was a question about whether teachers need to start at the Getting Started pathway in order to go on. No, that pathway is designed for you and your teachers to decide what are the best pathways and courses for you to begin at. So of course, a brand new teacher, yes, please have them start with the Getting Started pathway. But a teacher who's been using Seesaw, or probably most of you, you can go ahead and start with that going deeper, or find the pathway and the courses that works for you. Awesome.
What about the activities library where teachers share lessons? Can we still use that? Absolutely. So the activity library contains 4 tabs. So within that activity library, you will still continue to find your My Library tab, which is all of those activities that you create and that you save. Also, you will see, if you do have Seesaw for Schools, you will see the School and District tab, the Lessons Library tab, which, as Allie mentioned, will offer a free sampling of lessons for each collections. And we also have featured collections starting Monday that will be available in the Lessons Library. So we have some Get Started activities and a bunch of different activities that aren't specifically lessons, but that will be available for free in the Lessons Library. And you will continue to see the Community Library tab, which is where you will find activities that you, as Seesaw certified ambassadors and certified educators, create and share, and you can still access all of those amazing activities there. So we do have a couple more minutes, so we'll just take a few more questions. Keep them coming.
Mm-hmm.
And any question that we do not get to, we will definitely follow up via email. So make sure you submit all your questions.
So I kept seeing this one too in the chat, Mia. What happens if we do not finish? I'm assuming you're referencing the ambassador course by July 31st. I'm not sure. I would reach out to the community team. And
I believe the first is a cutoff date, but they will send you a reminder email. As a former ambassador, I still get emails about the refresher course. So typically in the past, although they have set a deadline, if you don't finish by that day, they may give you an extended week or so. But yes, definitely reach out to the community team if you have a conflict and you know that you won't be able to do that.
Yeah. And it's about 45 minutes to run through the asynchronous course. So if you can do a few minutes every day up until the 31st, I would recommend that. I went through the course myself and I did a little bit on the weekend, a little bit Saturday, a little bit Sunday, and was able to complete it. So again, adjust to your own. Like Mia said, if you've got a conflict, I would definitely reach out to the team.
Yes, I see in the chat, people are saying it's much easier, shorter than the past. Yes, the community team did that to help you all. Absolutely. Yes, Messages actually already replaced announcements or Inbox. So when you head into Seesaw, you are going to see that new Messages icon on the left next to your name and the library button. So yep, it has replaced Inbox, and we are very excited about that. So hope you enjoy exploring it. Okay.
Ambassadors can still use Seesaw for schools, right?
Yes, as an ambassador, you still have access to separate schools. If you have questions about that, you can always reach out to the community team. But yes. Awesome. I think we should probably.
Oh, how do you become a certified teacher status? I'm assuming you're talking about the Seesaw certified teacher. You would get an email from the community team, and they make you aware that you have become a Seesaw certified educator.
So for a Seesaw certified educator, you do have to be an ambassador for 3 years at least prior to becoming. And after that 3-year period, I believe you're automatically converted. And like Yvonne said, you will receive an email just notifying you of that change.
So the first step is pioneer, then it's
Right.
ambassador, then it's Seesaw certified educator. Great question. All right, so we thank you all for joining us today. We wish you all the best this school year, and we look forward to hearing all of the amazing things that you do with Seesaw this year with your schools and your districts and all the PD that you deliver. We thank you for your time today and joining the 3 of us, and we hope that you have a wonderful day. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Good luck.
Bye. Have a great one. Thank you, everybody.